Hi, I'm Kurt from Voice 3D, and today we're going to be making a maker's coin. So, what is a maker's coin? A maker's coin is obviously a coin or a token which 3D modelers and 3D printing aficionados usually make to sort of trade or give to others, and it's a sort of community currency, so to speak. I believe it was first coined by Angus from Maker's Muse, and since that has caught on, there are hundreds of maker coins available online, and really anyone who owns a 3D printer most of the time gets into making one, which is pretty easy and pretty standard. Now there are all kinds of shapes and sizes of maker's coin available out there, and you can make them in any kind of shape or form that you desire. Some make them movable with movable parts, some make them static, some just have just a regular disc with either a logo or a text on it. What we'll be doing today is one of those. We'll be doing one of the standards, non-movable. It's not going to be very intricate, but we're going to have quite an interesting shape, which I like myself. I made my first maker's coin a couple of weeks ago to take up with me to Birmingham for Maker Central, where I gave one to a couple of makers which I really admire and follow closely on the internet. This is a sort of token of appreciation. So today we're going to be making a very similar design. I could probably do the exact same design. The point of it is to show you exactly what you need to do to make a maker's coin. You don't need any particular set of skills to make something like this, and it's pretty straightforward. So let's hop into Fusion 360. So the first thing is sort of identify what kind of coin you would like to make. Would you like to make a hexagon? Would you like to make a square, a circle? I personally tend to go for multifaceted polygons, like octagons, decagons, etc, etc. But I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a few minutes. I'll be starting out by drawing a circle. Now you start by drawing a circle by going into the sketch menu, go on the circle, select the center diameter circle, which is the most, the basic one, and I'm going to make my coin 5 centimeters. No, 5 centimeters in diameter. Yes, I think 5 centimeters is good. About this big. Yeah. Let's go for 5. I can scale it down later. That reminds me. Actually, let's start over. So, one of the greatest features of Fusion 360 is its parametric features, parametric ability. If you go in Modify and click on, I'll just put it up here. We go on Change Parameters, it opens up this menu. So this menu basically shows us all the different parameters which you can include. So let's say a new parameter will be the coin diameter, and we'll express it in centimeters. We'll say it is 5 centimeters. No need to enter a comment in my case, and we'll just press OK. Now, here's the neat part. Here's the neat part. If we go and we go to sketch a circle. Instead of choosing 5 centimeters, we can choose circle. Coin diameter, and that makes it automatically to 50 millimeters, 5 centimeters. Now, the great thing about this thing is this. So if we try to extrude this, let's say we extrude it by 1 centimeter, and say we want it to be larger, you can go on the parameters, modify, double click there, change it to 10, and bish bash bosh, there it is. So the coin increased in size with us changing parameters. Maybe we can see it if we move the menu. Let's go back and make it to 5. See? And that's a very handy feature, because any kind of modification which you make in Fusion 360 past a point, if you want to make a change to the original structure or the original sketch, instead of going back all the way or starting over, you can just go into the parameters, change it up, and everything will update accordingly. You can do the same thing if you go into the timeline down here and go back as far as you need, double click on the function or action that you did, and change the parameters there. So that is pretty handy. Now, I don't want the coin to be this thick. So we just go back in the history bar down here, we double click on the extrude function. Instead of 10 millimeters, we'll extrude it to, let's say, 5. Alright, so let's have a look at the top. That is a very, very basic coin. Now we can, for example, we can put text in it. We can create or sketch rather text. We can click on the surface. We can put text over here. Let's say coin. G. We can turn it around, make it face the way we want. Just press OK. Highlight the text. And extrude it, let's say, by 1. Basically what that does is it engraves text in it. Now, let's go back. Let's go back another time. Won't be doing just that. We want something a bit more intricate. Not too intricate, not too complex. We're not doing engineering here. We need something which is quite basic. So, for that, let's design a bit of a nicer shape. Let's go and make another circle. We press C, takes us to automatically to a diameter circle. We click on the surface we want to make the circle on, which is in this case the face of the coin. Now, if we selected this far, it will be as as large as the coin itself, but we want it a bit dialed back. So let's say 45 millimeters in diameter. It leaves us with a 5 millimeter brim all around. And let's do that one more time, and now with 40. So we'll select these two. We'll select these two circles, these two sections. We can press E for extrude, and we shall extrude at let's say another 5 millimeters. So the thickness of the rim will be total of 1 centimeter. Now, basically, if we turn on all the sketches, so the first one, let's just turn on this one. So we look from the top, we see the circle we made in the middle before. Now this will be found beneath the top surface of the maker's coin. So we can, what I want to do over here is I want to chamfer the edge, and we'll chamfer it by 2.5, which gives us just that. Now, I like that, but I don't like this over here. So what we'll do is we'll go back to the extrude, and we shall extrude only 0.5. And basically that fixes it for us. That's quite a nice feature. So far so good. We may want to chamfer this edge as well. Let's chamfer it, let's say by 1. I think that looks nice, yeah. Yep, I like that. Okay, alright. Now, if we go to the top and we sketch a line, let's see. Let us sketch a line over here. Yeah. Select the surface. We want to select one of the points. We want to select, ideally, this green line. Let's make it easier. Let's sketch a line from there. Going to there. It's going to be at 90 degrees. So that locks it. Okay, we're going to go to the edge over here. Now, if we draw a line at 45 degrees over here, and we make it touch the edge, and we do the same thing over here on the other side, so it will be the opposite angle. It will be, should be at 135 degrees over there. That's perfect. There we go. We have a section over there. So, what do we make of this section, you might ask? What I want to do is to extrude it one more time and extrude it down all the way, leaving us with that groove, or a notch, if you will. Now, here's the nice thing about Fusion 360. I suppose other software does this as well, but we're going to create a pattern, which is going to be a circular pattern. Now, we're going to be selecting faces, okay? So we click that one and that one, two faces. We're going to select the axis, which is going to be the z-axis over here, the green axis, and over here we can change how many notches we want. So 3 is, 3 leaves us with 1 notch over here, 1 over there, and the original one. So let's go for 7, let's go for 14 notches. I like 14 notches, maybe 16. And they will all be equidistant, so I don't know, let's see, 20. 20 is, I think I like 20. Yes, that's right. I like 20. Okay, okie dokie. Now, and we are nearly done. So let's see how we can embellish it a bit more. Let's go on the sketch down here. Actually, not on the sketch, on some sketch. Let's go 1 point back before we did the pattern, before we extrude and before we did the sketch, and if we select the lower rim, we can chamfer it as well with 1 millimeter to have it equal. Now we move the history point forward, and there we go. This is what I love about Fusion 360. You don't have to start over if you make a mistake or you change your mind. No. So you just change that. Now, a maker's coin usually features a logo or a text of some sort, which usually would be particular to the maker themselves. So for my case, I want to put in my logo of Borg 3D, or Borg 3D as some have taken to say. So we shall insert SVG, we select the SVG file, image, blah 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 blah. Okay, so, ooh, this is great. So I converted it with an online tool. They're usually not very reliable, but in this case, I can't complain. So we can scale it up a bit more. Try to center it as much as we can. I think it can go slightly larger. Let's see. That looks just about right. Okay, so select OK. Now what Fusion 360 is doing is putting the vector on the surface as a sketch, and now we can select the different areas, which is beautiful. Now, as you can see over here, there are tiny details because in the actual image there is like a white border around it, which usually doesn't appear against a white background, of course, but I'm not going to be extruding this. So basically I'm just going to be selecting the areas I want to sort of pop out. I think, well, we can either engrave them or emboss them. I think I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to extrude them out. Select the logo. I'm going to select also Borg 3D. Now, if I extrude them by pressing E, I can extrude them by 1 millimeter. I think that's decent. That's a bit more than 2 layers. I think that's fine. Not 2 layers, I mean it's 10 layers. Should be fine. Let's see. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Now, I don't like the smooth surface inside, so probably I'm going to be mirroring this effect over here. So if we go to sketch on the surface, we're going to draw a line at 90 degrees. Okay, which is perpendicular. We're going to select the coin. We're going to modify to split body. The splitting tool will be that line which we drew, and you can see it will split it in half. Now, if we go to this edge and chamfer it by 1 millimeter, and we go do the same on the other side, we can chamfer it by 1 millimeter. You can see what we have over here. Now, let us combine both bodies together again by joining them, and we can repeat the pattern, circular pattern. We select the faces and we select the axis, which was the green one. We're going to make 20 in total, just like we had. And if we do that, given a few seconds to operate because the SVG really slows it down. There we go. I actually like this texture. Now we'll have to see how this prints and whether it prints well enough on my printer, but I think we can pull this off. Let's see. Yeah, I think we can pull this off. I think that's a pretty decent one. And that is how you make a maker's coin on Fusion 260. Now the next step is to take it down to the printer, which I'll be doing right about now. Here's the maker's coin after printing. There are some surface imperfections. I don't know if they are clear enough on the camera, but there are some holes on the surface, and I will fix that before uploading the next file, which will be uploaded on Thingiverse in the links down below in the description. It took about an hour and a half to print. With a brim to increase adhesion, and the bottom chamfers came out nicely. Had to shave it off with a knife to make sure that all the brim was removed. Using Cura, Ultimaker's slicing software, it printed on fine quality at 0.1 layer height. It was quite a good print, I think. So if you want to go check it out, you can click down on the links below on Thingiverse, My Mini Factory, and Imagine. You can download it yourself and share any pictures you have or any videos you take of this maker coin. I'd love to see them. If you would like to see more projects like this, check out board3d.net or click the link down below. If you like this video, click that like button, and if you're new here, click the subscribe button to follow more of my projects in the future. Just as I have been inspired by other makers out there to go and make something, I hope that you too can go make something yourself, because everyone is a maker.